It's up to you, New York, New York. Hello, people of New York City and beyond. It's your favorite podcaster, Larry Saperstein, joined by your other favorite podcaster, Jacob Bellotti.
Hello. I'm here. I'm on the podcast. I'm here.
And welcome to Let's Talk About That.
All systems are a go.
Talking database activated.
Begin in 3, 2, 1.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what? Let's talk about who? Let's talk about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about that. Girl, I cannot believe we are talking about that.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Let's talk about that. I cannot believe we are sitting in New York City recording an episode of this podcast.
I am juiced, honey.
Oh my
Juiced.
God. You sound horrible.
Okay, well, this is the thing. And I'm trying to figure out if it's my parents' house or if it's just like the East Coast.
I think it's the East Coast.
No, because I wasn't feeling this at Martha's Vineyard. I was not feeling this in New Jersey. I was not feeling this in Massachusetts. But I get to Long Island. I go to my parents' house, and all of a sudden, I have the sniffles.
You are very allergic.
Yes.
Allergic. Country breakfast.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have a little bit of the sniffles. I'm a little bit congested, as they say.
Yeah.
Maybe you can hear it on the microphone. Do I sound congested?
Trust, we can hear it.
Okay, thanks. So, you'll have to deal with that today. I hope it doesn't turn away any listeners.
Well, the good news is that you don't talk that much on today's episode because we have a wonderful guest that's joining us. But we'll get to that in a moment. Let's talk about us.
Yeah, well, actually, in our Let's Talk, this could be our Let's Talk About Us. But
sure.
I want to say a quick thank you to our friend Steph, who's letting us use her wonderful, she's sitting right over there. She's letting us use her wonderful apartment for filming today. So we are somewhere in the New York cities.
That's right. You don't know where we are.
No, they blindfolded me. And
I literally don't know where we are.
So we're just very grateful to you for letting us record here. So very excited for that.
Yeah, and we just saw 6 last night.
We saw 6, the musical, last night. Right after we do this, we're going to go see Once Upon a Mattress with Miss Sutton Foster once again.
My queen.
Your queen. What'd you think of 6?
I loved it. The first wife should be fired immediately from the production.
Oof.
She was horrible.
Oof.
Terrible. Did not hit any of the notes. Oof. And I will say this confidently and on camera, proudly to the world. Absolutely not. Get rid of her and replace her with someone who has an ounce of talent in their body.
Can I say something controversial?
Sure.
I honestly thought when I saw the show on tour last year that they were like tighter and like more energetic.
Yeah. Maybe
they seemed a little maybe tired last night. I don't know.
Maybe it's the punishing Broadway schedule.
Yes, so punishing.
8 shows a week.
They had 8 shows a week on tour. They do 8 shows a week.
Do they?
Yes. 8 shows a week.
Okay.
Because you like go to a place and you sit down for a few weeks and then you do like 8 shows a week and then you'll have like a week off while the show is like moving.
Okay,
to a
well,
new
these
place.
people don't have a week off. They just keep going year round.
That's true.
So there you go. That's a little more punishing.
But I love the show.
I do too. For the record, I did love it.
Yeah.
I had a great time. It's just when you don't hit the notes to No Way, an iconic.
No way.
I know, an iconic song. It's a little, to me, like, get the fuck off the stage.
I don't know if she wasn't hitting the notes. I don't know if that's fair to say.
She did so much talking to cover where she couldn't hit the notes. Oof. And then the ending of that song, the No Way,
yeah.
She did not hit that riff at all.
I think
Horrible.
The riffs were like a little Mestina.
Horrible.
Just a little bit.
And it sucks because that's my favorite song in the whole show.
Yeah.
But, everyone else I thought was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great show. It was really fun. I'm very excited for tonight, too.
Yeah. And, she's going to be our guest next week.
Please welcome Catherine of Aragon.
Yeah, my God. No, but speaking of guests, my God, today we have an incredible New York talent. for
Yes.
you.
Hello.
Okay, we have someone who was an alum of RuPaul's Drag Race season 15.
She is affectionately a Ru girl.
Yes, a Ru girl. And while I worked there, she was on this
Yes.
show. So
Yes.
we'll get all up into that. She is starring in Cabaret on Broadway
Yes.
as MC.
MC Select Nights, honey.
I mean, that is something to talk about.
Yes, and that production of Cabaret is getting incredible reviews, so I can't wait to hear
Tony
more.
winning.
Yeah,
A Tony winning production.
Absolutely.
And she is just an all-around phenomenal actress, talent, Broadway star, anything
Diva
else to
of all
add?
time.
Diva, mother of all time. Please welcome to the pod, Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. Right after this. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Hi.
Welcome to Let's Talk About That, honey.
Let's talk about that. you actually probably are the first person that we have on that actually gets it. I really get so annoyed when people think it's let's talk about it.
Oh my, no. We say, welcome to Let's Talk About That, and then they go, let's talk about it.
I'm like, no, it's let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that is the operative word.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that.
How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm fiery. I'm ready to talk.
Well, that's it, folks. There's the episode. Yeah.
You have a show later?
I sure do. Yeah.
Ooh.
Now you were just playing and we'll get into this
We'll
of
get
course,
into
but
it.
you were playing the MC.
Yeah.
Are you done with that? Or are you still doing?
It's happening. We're sprinkling there. Oh, sorry.
It's
sorry,
okay.
sorry, sound. We're sprinkling. There's more dates as Adam moves in a couple weeks. Adam Lambert.
Oh, right.
Oh
yeah.
right.
Yes, he starts in September 16th. I think is the first one.
Okay.
So
Have you met him yet?
Yes,
He's wonderful,
He's
isn't
so
he?
sweet.
I love him.
He's so sweet.
But so Eddie is done. Or
No, Eddie is doing all 8 shows for his last 2 weeks.
Right.
So
Okay.
unless he but last night he called out for the first time. On our 149th performance, he called out for the first
Whoa.
time. He's back in tonight. So I went on last night too. Which has never
Oh my
happened.
gosh.
It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
Tea,
So
tea,
you are
tea.
fresh off being the MC, honey.
Fresh, honey, fresh.
So is this your first time on Broadway?
Technically, it's my second. It's a very
Okay.
sad, frustrating story.
Oh.
I was a vacation swing for the Broadway company of Kinky Boots
Right.
in
Oh.
2018 into 2019. But the funny story is that the closing notice went out the day before I started rehearsal, and everyone was like, "Aren't you doing this?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." But I was rehearsed. And I was
no.
rehearsed. I did my put in and everything, but nobody went on vacation because they wanted to get their
Right.
payouts.
my
So then how
God.
long were you in the company before it was
Oh, it was. I think it was what was it? It was September, and it closed at the end of April. So it was all
okay.
of that
So you did
time.
have
I was
6 months or
yeah.
5 months.
I was on call, but if the vacations, if we want to get into the drama, the vacation swing contract with Actors Equity is messed up.
Oh?
I feel so out of the loop with equity contracts. 'Cause
Sure.
I'm not equity. I've only ever been.
No, all that happens now is
You and Patty LuPone have that in common.
But how is she in a show right now? She's isn't she on a Broadway show right now?
Yeah, it opens. I think tonight. Yeah, it
Yeah.
opens tonight. The Roommate with her and Mia Farrow.
But she's not equity?
No, I think they do guest contracts. I think is the vibe.
That is crazy.
Yeah, she gave up her equity card after company because she
That
was
is
crazy. This industry is a circus or something like that, which I thought was so funny.
I love
But,
that tea. Literally, all that happens now is we get voicemails from Fran Drescher being like,
Fantastic.
"Hi everyone, it's your SAG-AFTRA president, Fran Drescher." So
As
the
if you
equity.
wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah, the equity.
From the voice memo.
But you've had a wonderful little LA moment in your lifetime.
Oh yeah.
You were on season 15 of Drag Race,
I sure
a show that we
was.
know very intimately well.
How was your experience?
It was good. It really was. When I was there, it felt like summer camp.
Yeah.
One of the things that you can't like imagine when you're like watching the show is like, oh, how am I gonna feel when I'm actually there, like day to day, like what is it gonna feel like? And it felt like a job. Like it felt like I was like showing up and like going to rehearsal every day and then like doing a thing.
Yeah. It's actually kind of chill. A lot of people don't realize that.
People are
It's
like, Drag Race is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm like, girl. Really?
I think there's a difference between, and this is no shade, this is no tea. I think there's a difference between like queens that are like queens that work in clubs and like they don't necessarily have like acting aspirations or they're not as familiar with like working in like the acting, TV, film, theater industry versus like when you're trained as an actor and you know like what it is to be an actor and show up to rehearsal every single day. I think it like runs just much more like a TV show. Yeah. And I mean, how were you even thinking about like getting eliminated? Like, was that even something you were concerned about?
So I did not think about that really at all because I knew just like in that group of people, I had like the least experience almost. I was one of the like newest queens. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to win.
Right.
So I'm just going to go in and try and have fun and show that I'm talented in a lot of ways and that hopefully someone will hire me afterwards. Like that was the goal because like truly like the gift of Drag Race is the exposure and like showing people your personality. And so that was something that was important to me. It was like really being true to like who I was as a person, not like putting anything on. And I'm very proud because my mom was like, you're very yourself. Like you seem like you. And I was like, great. Fantastic.
Well, I think like people fell in love with you for sure. How long were you like a queen before Drag Race then?
I was doing it like on Instagram and TikTok and stuff for like throughout the pandemic.
Got you.
And I didn't start performing in New York City until like it was like 7 months before I left to film.
Wow.
Which is nuts.
What year did that season film?
We filmed in, was it 2022?
Okay,
I think it was 2022.
So it wasn't a 2021.
I don't know. They all kind of blend together. I know. They all blend, especially when you're working on it. Like it's like, season all-star, global all-star, UK, they're all like over and over and over again.
Yeah, well, for you, it's just crazy because it's just like one after another after another.
Literally last night when we knew like you were coming and I was like looking, I was like, wait, what challenges did I do that were in that season? I was like,
which ones did you do? I'd love to know.
Not where you got eliminated. House of Fashion. That was
fun. I loved that one.
Yeah, he came up with that.
Yeah. That was really smart.
Yeah, thank you. Really thank you. I'll take my tea. But those seasons, they like, every day is just kind of a melange because so many things are happening that you don't realize. Like, and how much. The other thing about the show when I first started working on it, where I was like taken aback, is like how long in between everything you see on camera versus everything that's happening is, right? Like there's like multiple hours where you guys are like in the workroom getting ready that aren't filmed. Like there's really? So many moments that are like
because you get so bored.
Yeah.
There's a certain moment where it's like, okay, I cannot talk to you anymore. I need to finish my makeup. Like I need to do that right now. So
is there like a lot of time where it's just quiet? No one's talking at all, and everyone's just
because that's part of reality television. They don't want to like save as much of the like character development for camera. So it's like when you're not filming, it's ice or hard ice or soft ice, which is
is that what
that's a term?
The different.
Clearly, you didn't read "Don't Fuck It Up," a Drag Race herstory, honey.
That's not really a term in like scripted TV.
Because they can't command you to stop talking to each other about what's happening.
Right.
Yeah. Like you need to do that in reality TV so that people
to save the magic.
Really, have the connections and drama.
So that means. Wait, so what's the difference between ice and hard ice?
So
then?
Hard ice is like you cannot say anything at all.
Right.
Sit down, don't open your mouth. Although people like mistress would always be like,
Yeah, I know.
and soft ice is you can talk, but you can't talk about what's happening in the show. You can be like, oh, I like your shirt. What are we having for lunch? Like that's fine. But you can't like talk about like production. You can't talk about anything. And then those were ice.
That's really it.
Ice was
Yeah.
just like be quiet. That's just like the
Basically, shut
first
up.
one.
It's basically
Gotcha.
shut
And
up.
then the hard ice is like the warning.
Got it. I know about the Queens walking.
Oh, Queen's walking. Yes.
Yes. Well, you get that in Untucked, so that's
Oh,
part of the
I guess
experience.
they show that. Yeah.
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 How did you come up with the name Marcia?
Okay.
Well, Marcia.
Marcia. Well,
I mean, I get it. I get the reference.
You're like, I believe it. Trust it. I understand. I was weirdly enough, I was doing a summer stock contract in Minneapolis. I was doing Guys and Dolls at the Guthrie. And because Guys and Dolls is like the nature of the show, like a lot of the cast members were like older because they're all like, you know, gambling men and stuff like that. So I had like a lot of downtime because like people weren't trying to like, you know, go exploring Minnesota.
Right.
But I was just like watching the Brady Bunch movie one day. I was sitting at in my theater housing, and I was like, Marcia is such a great name for drag because I love when people are like Jessica Nicole Smith. It's like it's like 'cause people love a
Nicole
three
Page
name.
Brooks.
Yeah, people love a
Right.
Jada Essence Hall.
Right.
Mistress
Mrs.
Isabel
Isabel
Brooks.
Brooks. People look Lux Norland, and people love a three name girl. So I was like, oh, what if my name was just like the same name 3 times?
That is
And
funny, yeah.
Also, the whole reason it's said is because it's like the younger sibling being like, oh, she gets everything she wants. She's so like perfect and pretty and talented, and
Right.
it's not fair.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the vibe.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
also like referential to a style.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
like, I mean, I did think that when I saw like your name and your persona, I thought you were gonna present like so much more like 60s.
That would have been smart, I think. I think that would have liked me a lot better had I done that.
I thought that that's what you were gonna like be bringing.
You were
100% of the
liked.
time.
You were very liked for the
were
record.
liked.
Yeah,
behind
by the fan base and things. Oh, you mean like by
behind the
people?
scenes. You were very liked.
Thank you.
Everyone's very liked on the show.
Yes,
Yes.
I consider myself to be very professional.
Yes.
and very respectful and nice to everyone. That was very important to me. But yeah, they don't tell you that.
Yeah, it's
They're
the
not
same thing.
"Oh,
Like
you're
you
so
walk
sweet."
in like an actor rather
Yeah.
than a reality TV show contestant.
And
I
what
think.
what you were saying before, like it really is so different. Like the queens that have like only ever worked in clubs and bars, like that's the only like performance experience that they have.
Yeah.
It's such a different thing. People they don't know necessarily how to operate in like a professional environment in that way because they're so
Right.
used to like fucking around with their bosses and
Right.
at the
Yeah.
bar and whatever. We're all drinking and having fun. And
Yeah.
there's a line that I think is because they don't
Yes.
tell you. They're not like, oh, that just so you're aware, like we're filming a television show, like this is a work environment, like you should,
They don't.
Right.
No.
But it also
because it would hinder the personalities. I think.
It's true,
I
but it
see.
also feels a little implied to me. Like you walk into a room that has 26 cameras in it,
You
and
would
you're like,
think, but some people see that and say, "Ooh, look at how hot the cameramen are!" And,
Right.
like that's the peak.
Sarge girl. Ooh.
Like that's the peak.
Yeah.
No, it's something that I think should be said. Like you can't, like this isn't a bar, this isn't a club. Like there's a very specific schedule.
Right.
You have to like be on top of your shit and
Right.
do what you're told.
Yeah.
Or else you're wasting people's time. You're wasting money. Like it's a thing.
Yeah.
that they don't talk about.
Right.
And it's a very expensive show, like
It
reality
really
wise.
is.
It's like, it's big budget.
They
so-
they repaint that workroom floor like every couple of weeks.
I know.
You see, there's a whole new set now.
there is a whole new
The
set,
next
but
season.
that's not even tea because that
Wait,
was
what-
in a video. So
which
I want to
next-
make that clear.
They
I'm not
released it.
breaking
They
any
released
tea.
Which
it.
next season? Like
Season 17.
It's different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they
main
like-
stage is new. It's a new main stage.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got like a bigger video. It's more like video screen.
Yeah, they did
It
a
looks-
tour with AD, was it?
Yeah, they did like a behind the scenes tour and they showed like what it looks like.
Got it.
But I
Okay,
guess
cool.
it kind of looks more like what the finale stage of season 16 looked like.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the celebrity
finale, right?
Did you watch? Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I should have. I think it was just like it was happening like as we were opening Cabaret.
Yeah.
So I was just like I can't do both of these things at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's great. I think that's probably better. I mean, it's been how many years and it's the same.
Well, they revamped it for I think yours.
It revamped a lot of times, but season 15 was the first time with the lights in the back that moved, the LEDs on the back plate.
See, this is the stuff
The back
I
of
think is cool.
Wait, Marcia, the back of the runway, like there was always like the columns and then it had like the dot in the middle of each square.
Yeah, sure.
But in season 15, we added every other column was 9 LED panel lights that moved and did different
notice.
lighting.
Didn't notice.
I guess to be fair, you're looking in the other direction.
That's
Absolutely.
true.
You know?
You are looking at the nothing that's on the right of the judges panel,
which is nice, kind of, because
Yeah.
you don't want to look
You don't
at
wanna-
them.
Yeah.
You don't want to look at them while it's happening. And then it's the worst thing is when you like feel confident about like what you looked like, and then you'd like flash them like a wink or a smile, and they're just like, like fuck. Misplaced confidence.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know what? I'm going to take you back a second here. I
Thrilled.
remember watching your audition tape.
Can I tell you, my audition tape was great.
It is.
It's really great.
good. I don't know if you've
really
ever
good.
posted.
The audition?
Of course, I've seen the audition.
No, I had never
tape.
posted. We're not supposed to.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
right.
T.
Because no one's ever done that. But you made this like purple dress, I think, right? Or
I made lots of things.
No.
Depends
In
what you're talking
the
about.
for the audition tape, you were showing a purple dress that might have had like a teal belt thing.
I made a purple dress for sure. I made a
Okay.
teal dress for sure.
Okay, well then maybe I'm confusing the two.
Okay.
I remember that, and then I remember you performed, and it was like a moving performance. You were like in a dance studio.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes,
I
and you-
choreographed.
Yes, and there were like backup dancers going with you, and it was fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that.
But I don't remember what song it was. Or
It was
anything.
the RuPaul one. It was
Oh, it was the RuPaul.
Bring
one.
Back My Girls.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah,
it had
yeah,
the
yeah,
least
yeah.
amount of lyrics to learn.
What dance studio did you film that in? New York trivia.
God. The now non-existent. What is it called? The studio. It's not a dance studio actually. It's like a photo studio. It's down like 14th. It's all white.
It's probably called the Photo Studio. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna
Yeah.
kill me. Oh my god. I can't find it. What is it
Wow.
called? Oh, Alchemical Studio.
Alchemical.
See, I
Which
didn't.
they like lost their lease recently or something like that, and they're closing. It's so sad.
That's
It's a really
sad.
beautiful space.
I'd never been there. I thought you were going to be like, oh, I filmed it at Pearl Studios.
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? I don't. I mean, all the dancers were theater people, so I didn't want to trigger them or anything like that.
Right, of course. Do you know Pearl Studios?
No.
It's like,
Ripley Greer, you know Pearl Studios, yes.
it's like Ripley
No.
Greer and Pearl Studios are like kind of right next door. Well, they're like a block away from each other.
Now there's Open Jar.
For the record,
Yes,
this
Open
is
Jar.
Sunlight.
This is the first episode we're filming in New York City. We have never filmed
This
in
And you're
New
welcome.
York
True.
City.
What brings you to New York, by the way? Are you just visiting?
We were
We're
doing a
visiting our family.
vacation
Oh,
trip.
sweet.
Yeah, because his family's in New Jersey, and then I'm on Long
Fantastic.
Island, as we know.
Of course, tri-staters.
So it was
so-
very easy to combine the two into a trip.
That's so
And,
sweet.
you know,
And of
be
course,
here.
I could never like come to this area without actually coming to the city and living
Sure.
my dreams. You know, reminiscing and
Of course,
having my
yes.
moment. We saw.
Girl,
Six
you had
last
your
night.
moment for 6 years on a fucking television show. Don't even
Oh,
come
having my
for me.
New York
And
moment.
such a good
having my New
television
York
show.
moment.
Did you like this show?
High School Musical series.
You liked it?
Of course, I've seen every single episode.
Oh my god!
I'm obsessed. My fiance is a very big High School Musical fan.
Oh, you
Really?
got engaged.
Yes, I got
Oh my god!
engaged.
Congratulations.
When did you get engaged?
It was literally the Friday before we started rehearsal. So it was February like 19th, something like that.
That's amazing.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
we were talking like last summer, and you were just like, "Yeah, I've been with my boyfriend forever,
Uh-huh.
and like we're gonna be together forever.
We're gonna be together forever.
You know what's the weirdest thing? I've met like your whole family because of the finale of season 15.
You met my whole family? What do you mean?
Well, just your mom and your boyfriend.
Oh, yes,
or your
yes, yes,
fiance.
yes. Uh-huh.
Because they were there and we were like,
Wait, that wasn't my mom. That was my manager.
Oh,
LOL. You thought
not
Jackie
me
Hubert was my
thinking
mother.
your manager was your mother.
No, she's not.
that's
Oh
funny.
my
That's
God.
that was such an actor thing. That wasn't my mom. That's my manager.
No, yeah.
Of course.
It happened. It happened. It's fine.
Well, it was fun
That's
though. They
so
were very
funny.
nice. They were both very nice.
Yes.
Wait, but what were we talking about? Oh, you were saying your
Sorry.
fiance is a High School Musical fan.
Oh, huge
Sorry,
High
not
School
to bring it
Musical
back
fan.
to High School Musical.
Yeah, no,
No,
let's talk more about Larry.
I'm okay with
Yeah.
it.
About me.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Also, really, really quick. You had Dara
Dara.
on last time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is that
she
the
was
last
our
one.
Yes.
Yeah, you're the next guest after Dara.
I had never seen a Descendants film my whole life, but I kept seeing stuff about the fourth one on TikTok, so I watched it.
You watched it.
I watched it, and then I watched every single one of them in one day.
They're kind of
Oh
fun,
my
right?
God.
And I am obsessed.
They're kind of smart.
They're
Like-
they're so smart.
Did you watch the fourth one first?
Yes.
Okay, so then you have to like go back. I
But
haven't
like
seen
so
the
much made
second or
sense.
third.
You haven't seen the second or the third?
No, I just watched
Ooh.
the first one.
The second one, I mean, honestly, they're all great. At first, I was like, the first one's the best. So now I've watched them all. Like, it's become like a hyperfixation. I've watched them all, I think, like 4 or 5 times now.
Oh my God.
It's like I'll get home from the show and it's like 11 o'clock. So I'll just like turn one of them on and just like get ready for bed.
What is the thing that like excites you about the Descendants franchise?
I mean, I was just a huge like Disney Channel kid when I
Okay.
was little. This big Disney Channel movie kid. So like the fact that they are like still happening.
Yeah.
And it was just like really exciting to me. And because I watched the fourth one, I was like, oh, I have to see what else I've missed because I like.
I have not seen a single one except the last
we
one
saw.
because we went to the premiere. Like,
Oh, I'm
a few
so
weeks ago,
jealous.
but-
so when we saw is like it is removed from the other.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely! It definitely it feels like a
Stories.
spinoff.
The
Right
only
now.
person was China Anne McClain who was in it,
and the
right,
lady who
from
plays
the-
the fairy godmother.
Oh, okay.
Right. But then isn't that song that like
You're in so deep.
I know so much. I have 3 TikToks in my draft about Descendants that I'm like, I can't post this. People are gonna start unfollowing me. It's
Oh
just like,
my God.
It's just like not.
Did you do the red dance? Set it
No.
off.
Red-
Come
No,
berserk.
but I did the Life is Sweeter one.
Oh, okay.
That song.
Life is
Sweeter
sweeter
when you are.
That's a good one. Like the music in that
It's a-
fourth one is
Yeah.
really
It's a
good.
bop.
We
That
had
song is
Kylie
so
on
good.
too a few weeks ago. Kylie
You
Cantrell.
did. Oh my God,
Yes.
she is. I'm
She's good.
I'm positive her and Ruby Rose. What's her last name? Ruby Rose Turner.
Yeah.
The two of them are gonna be like mainstream pop girls in a couple
Yeah.
years.
Well,
I can
Kylie's
just
blowing
feel
up
it.
right now.
That song.
Yeah.
Elastic.
Yeah.
Good music.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Ruby though.
Really?
Really?
She in my mind is like what Marcia looks like. Like,
Okay.
like, that's who
word.
she
I
is.
see that
I get it,
vision.
yeah.
I see that vision.
And I followed her on TikTok, or I followed her on Instagram, and she followed me back, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, this girl,
These
this Disney Channel,
19-year-olds are.
this 19-year-old Disney Channel actor followed me back on Instagram, and I was like, "You are the only diva. I'm so obsessed with you."
Oh my God.
And she was like, "Oh my God, coming from you, that means so much." I was like, "Literally, shut up." I'm obsessed with her. I think she's such a superstar.
That is so fun.
Yeah, no, she's fun. And
God.
that is
We
really,
love
like, my favorite
like
song.
we're friends with a lot of those
Yeah,
people, and they're
yeah.
really
And I'm
like Josh
So-
Colley, who was hooked.
Yeah,
Yes,
Josh.
Our good friends.
I
Which was
I'm an
such a
internet
shock
fan.
to
like
us, but
who we've now talked about in like 4 episodes.
I know,
We need
but
to
like-
actually get it.
but
like, can I just say the fact that he and the Morgie Peter something whatever his name is,
Yeah.
they're not in that movie very much, but people
No.
are obsessed with them.
Well,
That's
you know,
iconic.
That is like taking your moment. You
It's-
know what I mean?
That is
It's
taking a
fierce.
moment of having, but it's so funny
It's
because we know
fierce.
Josh, and he's one of the girls,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
and like,
And
and then we
low
go to that
voice.
movie, and he's like, "Oh, hello." I'm
Well,
like,
that's what people
what
are
the
freaking
fuck
out
is
about.
happening?
That's what people are freaking out about on TikTok because like
The voice.
the
Yeah.
voice is so different, and like obviously people that don't know him in real life, they heard that accent first.
And thought that was
Yeah.
his
Thought
voice.
that was like closer to who he is, and then they like look him up, and he's like, "Hey, girl."
Queening out,
he's
yeah.
one of the girls.
I
yes.
remember seeing videos of him like as a little kid, like singing at 54 Below.
Yes.
Oh
And
yeah, he did
miscast
the
and stuff like that.
Hamilton
Yes, he did the
thing.
Yes,
Hamilton.
Yeah.
and like it's such an amazing singer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know.
he's
again,
good.
like
In
the
Broadway.
fact
he was on Broadway in something. I don't know what.
I think it was Bronx Tale. I think he was like the little
Oh,
kid. in
okay.
Bronx Tale.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that.
No, you're probably right because I think you've done the deep dive.
No, I just know. It was just like very like in that world at the time. But no, I'm so obsessed with that whole group. They're so
That is
it's
hilarious.
Like, that's
It's
the
a
thing.
good,
Like
like,
you watch that
cast.
movie, it's like they're just all so
Yeah.
talented.
And
They're
Dara,
such great
like,
dancers, such great singers.
We were cracking up the whole time at Dara's performance because Dara is like the most like energetic, hey,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
like amping you up, like you look so good
But
all the
she's so
time.
great.
And then in that movie,
It's-
she like
it's really diva.
really.
It really is.
I
Yeah.
love after she falls in the fountain and she like comes out and she goes, "I will destroy her." And I'm like, you are having your Disney Channel Mean Girl moment.
Yeah.
Like that is
It's
such
incredible.
that is like such a thing in those movies. Like,
Yeah.
this is not over. And I'm like, work. And those
Yeah.
I love when they put the long like locks are so gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah, the costumes and
The
like
costumes
the
and
hair,
the
and makeup
hair
was,
is like
was good.
so creative and so colorful and so fun. Anyway, now that we've talked about Descendants
Now
for
that I'm-
45
Yeah,
minutes.
this is probably the 8th episode we talked
I'm
about
sorry,
the Descendants.
this is a
but it's
Descendants
okay
because it's so good.
yeah,
Yeah, it is.
and it's
just
worth
so
watching.
good. It is.
Yeah.
Now tell me more things that you liked about High School Musical. No.
Oh my god.
Okay, we'll be back
okay.
with Marcia right after this.
No, I will. I will go on and on and on. Fantastic.
What happened?
So I have a vacation in the first week of October.
Where are
And
you
I've been
going?
trying to figure out what to do, where to go. I wanted to go to Disney a little bit, just because I haven't
Right.
been since I was like a little kid. and
Yeah,
I
I've-
love amusement parks. But then I was like, no, because I don't think anyone can go with me. Sad for me and my life. Because my fiance is in nursing school, and all of my friends don't have money to just like fly across the country or do whatever. So I had this idea last night. I was like, oh, I can go to Trixie Mattel. I love Trixie Mattel. I've never been. I've always wanted to go, and I can see if they'll like do a little thing where like they'll like comp the rooms, and I can like shoot. I could do like shoots there while
You are using your drag race clout.
and I was
honey.
and I was
It's all
just
great.
it was just confirmed that I will be staying at the Trixie Motel.
Okay, word.
And I'm gonna room hop, which I'm so
Did you
excited
reach out
about.
did you go through Trixie herself?
My manager, who you thought was my mother,
Yes.
is a good friend of Trixie's boyfriend, fiance.
David.
David, yes, David has like at least a business relationship with David, which is like
Great.
how I did that video with Trixie.
Yeah. Right.
which was so fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were on Trixie's YouTube.
I was.
Fierce.
She
David
put
and I
me
really
in Trixie
connected.
drag.
Yeah. David and I really connected on the Real Housewives.
I made such
Are you a
a
Real
fool
Housewives
out of
fan?
myself.
He did.
Wait, how?
So we were at the WoW Christmas party.
Yeah.
And
Okay, great already.
Trixie
Love it.
and David were there, and Larry got so nervous because he's like such a Trixie stan.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
And so we like
Sweet.
walk over to
I
the
am.
circle, and I was like chatting with David
This is so
about the Real
embarrassing.
Housewives.
This is ridiculous.
I was talking about the Real Housewives. I think we're talking about Roni, and
Okay. Which
and
one?
then,
The old or the new?
You were
The old one.
You were talking about New York or something, and I was like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?" And you guys said New York.
but it was implied
And you
that
were
it was
like,
the Housewives.
And you were
Oh,
like,
when I see
yes,
the name
Empire State
Dorinda
Building.
Medley.
Of
I was like,
course.
"Oh, I love
Broadway.
New York so much. Like, I keep telling Jacob that like we should go back and spend more time there, but he doesn't want to go." And
That's not embarrassing.
And then David just looked at me like, "Uh-huh," and I was like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And he was like, "The
the Real
Housewives."
Housewives of New York.
And I was like, "Oh,
That's not embarrassing.
no, it was embarrassing."
No, it's cute. It's fine.
It wasn't really that embarrassing. It's just
But
that
I can
happened
see
to
it in
him
the
and
moment
he
being
was
like, oh my
embarrassed.
god, I had one shot and I blew it.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I didn't really have anything to say. Like you like meet those people and then you're like, I don't really have anything to say to you that's not going to be like super
Yeah.
embarrassing right now.
I know.
That
I
you haven't
hate
already
going to
heard
people.
like 100 times.
Unless it's like a work
hate
thing
it.
where they like know you.
Sure.
Like this is the thing with like High School Musical and like drag queens and stuff because like there's like some queens who like are, you know, super musical theater and like love High School Musical and like love Disney, right? But there's some queens.
I wouldn't know anyone like that, but go ahead.
Right.
Right.
Of course. But then there's some queens who like are just on the total opposite side
Oh,
of like
yeah.
the gay world, and they like
Absolutely.
they're like not Disney at all, and so then they have no idea who I am, and I like never know which queen is gonna be
Sure.
which.
Oh, please, you could tell, honey. Plasma, like, let's be real.
Of course, I'm shocked.
I mean, I haven't met Plasma,
Oh my
but I'm
gosh.
sure if I did, she would geek out.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, like,
I'm
it's
sure she
kind of
knows.
obvious
I'm sure
when,
she
Yes,
you, when
it
you
is
dive
like
into it.
somewhat obvious, like based on the show, but like
Yeah.
I don't know, like maybe like Trixie likes dolls, like maybe she
Uh-huh.
has like a Disney thing that
Yeah,
she
yeah,
also
yeah.
likes, but she didn't.
Sure.
She did
But
not.
that's all right. 'Cause, well, that's the thing. She's also like, she's like a grown up. She has like 100 jobs. Like,
Yeah,
she's not
yeah.
sitting at home watching High School Musical, the musical of the series.
Right, of
Unfortunately,
course
She's not really sitting at home watching anything.
I'm sure
kinda
she's just like,
working.
yeah, like grinding the pavement, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah.
But speaking of High School Musical, the musical of the series, I love that show. It's so sweet. I think it
Thank
probably it gives so much, I don't know, visibility. Like if I was a young gay kid and that show was happening,
Yeah.
and that like your character arc,
Yeah.
and Frankie and
Frankie and Joe,
Frankie
yeah.
and
Frankie and
Joe.
Joe's is just like so sweet and like
Every
so
chance they got to make it gayer, they did.
as they should
which
have.
is great. Like I mean, I guess they, you know, really fought for that and like didn't get a lot of pushback from like Disney, which is awesome. You know,
They even
So-
incorporated a queer character cheating. I mean,
Oh my
what's
God, I
more
know.
real?
I know that. I mean,
Crazy.
That's my favorite, but it's okay. Well, you know, I just didn't want to be. It's whatever for like the show and the character. I was just like nervous personally that people would get like angry with me
Oh,
because like my
no.
character was like
No, people
cheating.
do that.
Oh,
They do.
I know.
They do.
Trust me, I was on Drag Race. I know.
Yes. Yes.
People are lunatics.
Yes.
But yeah, I think in that,
But they didn't,
but
really.
like in that situation specifically, like in the plot of the show, it's like
It was very wholesome.
you weren't like, oh yeah, I don't care about my partner and I don't trust
Right.
her, whatever. It was just like, oh wow, I'm like feeling a really significant thing that could affect my relationship,
Right,
and I need to
right.
explore it. So it's not just like sitting in my brain forever,
Right.
which is a very real thing that people experience.
That is.
Yeah.
That is too.
Did you like the Heartstoppers? Were you into the Heartstopper?
The TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have not watched it.
You haven't
you-
watched Heartstopper?
Oh my God! You were
I
just talking
haven't.
about.
You
You were
love-
just talking about when I was a gay kid. If I
I
had
know.
had this, Heartstopper is the ultimate. If I was
Yeah,
a
like,
gay
You know
kid.
who
love High
loves
School
that
Musical?
show? Jax.
Oh, really?
Jax said, I think while we were filming Drag Race, because we had Netflix, she was like, yeah, I think I watched Heartstopper like 5 times
Yeah.
while I was
Yeah.
there.
A lot of
That's a
people
good one.
did.
God.
That's like
That
I
one is
should.
the ultimate. Like, if I was growing up and had this show, like,
Yeah.
you know,
The
that
funny
is
thing
the
about
ultimate.
Heartstopper though is like it's one friend group that has the entire alphabet.
Right.
Which is like,
Oh,
how would you
sure.
ever have
So
that, you
the
know?
main
Yeah.
two are gay, and bi.
Uh-huh.
Then you have
Then there's the lesbians, but one of the lesbians is becoming a trans man in the next, transitioning to trans man in the next
Whoa,
season.
I did not know that.
Then there's an asexual, a straight, and then a
trans
trans
woman.
woman.
A straight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A straight.
all
Naturally
in the
straight.
same friend
Okay,
group.
well, that's great.
Yeah, it's
They
great
found each other.
representation,
Yeah.
but
I am.
That's
I'm.
so
But it is a little
unrealistic, but I
like
love it.
like how did all of these people?
Who is the one? He's one of the main gays. Who's
Joe
he's
Locke?
yes.
Kit Connor?
I'm.
Those are the main two.
Joe.
Joe
The one
Locke.
with the
Yeah,
curly hair.
Curly hair.
I'm so jealous of him. My God.
It's true.
He's getting
So is Larry.
all the jobs
Yeah.
that I would
I'm, like,
love to
I'm more
have
jealous of Kit Connor though, even though like
because of the
our-
red hair.
Yeah, but we're actually very very different.
Yeah,
he
of
looks
course.
like a buff football player, honey.
Yeah, we're very different.
And what are
like,
you
types.
saying about Larry?
But you know, the industry puts people in boxes, Jacob,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to.
Oh
like,
God,
make
but I'm
sure to
so
not be
jealous.
in that
He did
box.
Sweeney.
Oh yeah,
I
and
know.
now
He's
Kit
doing
Connor's doing
Agatha.
Romeo
I
and
know.
Juliet with
I
Rachel
know.
Zegler.
No.
They're all on Broadway now.
But you're on Broadway.
You're on Broadway too. Okay, so wait, let's talk about Cabaret. How did
Sure.
you get this? Like, how did this come into your realm? And what was the experience like getting onto a major Broadway show like this?
Thank you. I had a discussion with like my team after. Oh God, it must have been like in early August, like late July, after I had been like traveling so much and gigging, I was like, I need to stop doing this or I'm going to lose my mind. I was getting like so lonely and so tired. Like, there's in that Celine Dion documentary, she says like, would you believe me if I said that I've traveled the world, but I've never actually seen anything? That's like, that's what it is. You're literally like, everyone's like, oh, you got to travel the world. I was like, yeah, I saw a beautiful Hyatt.
Right.
in whatever
drag
city,
club on
whatever
Main Street.
It's just like, it was so fast. It's so much traveling. I was getting so lonely. I was getting like really like I wasn't happy. And I was like, I need to circle back to like what made me really, really happy. Yeah. Because I think too much of anything is just like not helpful or not gonna feed you in the way you want it to. So I had a discussion and I was like, I would like love to start like using my exposure in different ways. Like I want to go back to do like Broadway show, do a TV show, do a movie, whatever. So they were like, okay, great. And my agents are primarily theatrical agents. And I gave them like a list of shows. It's like, these are the things that I think I'd be right for. And one of those things was Cabaret. And they're like, oh, well, they're auditioning literally next week. Do you want us to submit you? And I said, sure.
That's great.
Yeah. So I went to an invited dance call like I always used to.
Yeah.
And I danced and I did a good job. And then I sang. And then they said, we want to see you for the MC cover and the Ernst cover, the Nazi man.
Oh, okay.
But they could obviously tell that I was just like, I was focused on one of those things.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a really quick process. They cast the entire thing in like a week.
Wow.
It was like crazy. It was like, I had an invited dance call, a call back where I did like the material for them, a final dance call. And then like, that was it. That was like the whole thing.
And then you're on Broadway, which is so funny with Julia's dad.
Oh my God, with Julia's dad. Also, really, really just a side note. He is popping up in everything that I'm watching.
Really?
First of all, as I was a giant Disney fan, giant Victorious fan.
Okay.
He's in Victorious.
He is.
Right.
He's the doctor with the son Lendl, the ugly son Lendl. If you give me like the title of a Victorious episode, I will tell you what the episode is about.
Oh my God.
I can quote all of them. I'm one of the reasons I love Ariana Grande so much. But
Yes, we know about your Ariana Grande moment.
Who doesn't?
Yes. How excited are you for Wicked? Sorry, we're going.
Don't talk to me about it.
Okay.
We'll have to come back to Wicked at the end. 'Cause
We will.
Yeah.
Please, because I cannot wait. I'm losing my mind. But so and I'm watching Desperate Housewives right now. I'm like binging Desperate Housewives, and he's in that too.
Wait, what?
I'm like,
when was he in Desperate Housewives?
It's only been one episode so far.
Okay.
I'm in like the second season, early in the second season. He plays like someone's a psychiatrist or something like that.
Oh my God.
The thing about
I vaguely actually remember that.
He's just like, and I was just like, I was in my bathroom, like, doing my hair, whatever. And it's like on my phone, and I was like, is that fucking Lauren? I'm gonna scream.
Yeah.
He's in everything.
I know.
The thing that,
him and Alec Mappa.
Yeah.
Yes. Today.
Plays Eva Longoria's gay assistant in Desperate Housewives.
In the episode that I started right before I came here, he was the first time he was on screen.
Yeah.
Is that up? Yep.
The thing about that, and like Julia used to always say this, is like, when the strike was happening last year and everyone was like shining a light on like the working SAG actor that's like not a movie star that is making millions and millions of dollars, like that is truly like Julia's family, like both her mom and her dad, like they're like working actors that did like guest spots in like every show you can imagine, and that is how they like raised their family and like made their livelihood. And like there's so much respect for that kind of that work, like being just acting in everything, playing every role under the sun, like it's true like character acting to me, but now you get to be on Broadway with him. Has Julia come a lot?
Yeah, she's come a couple times. I think she should be Sally. I think she should come a bit. I think she would sing the absolute hell out of it. Of course.
Oh yeah.
She has such like a bite to her. I think she'd be so good.
Yeah.
So this
now,
is my.
What is like so? Full disclosure, I have not seen this show yet. Honestly,
Great.
tickets are so expensive to
Boots.
this.
They
I know.
sure
I
are.
really, I mean, I love Cabaret. It's like one of my favorites. But
Yeah.
what is like different? I know there's like a lot of differences in this production. Like
Yeah.
what are the differences and like what makes it special now?
I would say there's just a really big like perspective shift.
Okay.
Like traditionally, oh God, I don't want to give anything away because we're like not supposed to.
Oh.
I would just say that the perspective has been shifted to one of like a marginalized person. Like the really
Okay.
big theme that we're playing on, I think that a lot of the creative decisions were based in was like just like the idea like of like what would you do? Like that song that Bibi Newirth sings in Second
Right.
Act, what
Yeah.
would you do? It's basically like there comes a time when like even marginalized people will marginalize other people in order to survive.
Right.
And it's just kind of like when that happens, when push comes to shove, what would you do? And I think
Gotcha.
that's really what the focus is, because
Yeah.
also our creative team has talked about a lot about this, that when they initially built this show, were like creating it, like it was like during like the Trump presidency,
Right.
and like there was so much anger and so much frustration and so much conflict, which there obviously still is, because
Yeah.
it's never not going to be.
Yep.
But it was just like a very different time when they were building it. It was
Yeah.
much fresher. It was much, where now I think we're in like, because of Kamala, we're in like a much more hopeful place. at the
Yeah,
very least.
we are
Yeah.
praying, we are
hopeful.
Yeah.
crossing everything.
Although when I was when Trump was elected, I was in college doing a production of Cabaret. So I'm like, I'm like triggered.
Yeah.
this is a big trauma callback for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it very much still hits. in
Yeah. Well, we all
a
remember
similar
that
way.
time anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's just so much about, especially like in the zeitgeist, there's so much discussion about accountability and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like just because of the internet, like everyone has the ability to say something, to do something if they want to.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a lot of like looking at that and allowing that to kind of affect the show and like people's perception, because and people come with all different ideas. Like
Right.
there are people that come because the tickets are so expensive. A lot of like very rich people come and they sit in the front row, and like sometimes at the end of the show is, again, it's like very sad and
Right.
morbid, and
Of
like
course.
there's this like kind of like dilapidated version of Willkommen that plays by the band. Like it sounds kind of ugly.
Oh, okay.
And there's people like
Right.
clapping, and I'm like, you didn't
get it.
You didn't get it.
None of this affected you,
Right,
Like at
right.
all. And it's such, it feels like a social experiment, because
Right.
we're so close to the audience. Like it's like we're like inches away from people.
Yeah. Would you call it immersive, or is it not really immersive?
I wouldn't say that it's immersive. I think people have been putting that word on it a
Gotcha.
lot, like the immersive cabaret, but I wouldn't say that it's immersive. I
Gotcha.
think, I don't know, that it's in the round, so
Right.
we are close to you and we're walking past
Right.
you, but you're not like, and our prologue, I would say, is immersive, because there are like, you can like walk around the building,
Right.
and like
Oh,
go
okay.
kind of wherever
See
you
the-
want.
See
Yeah,
the different bars.
So,
and
yeah,
they've turned the
yeah.
whole theater into
they
the
really,
club,
really have
right?
our Tony Award winning set design.
Hello.
Which is cool that extends out into like that includes the theater itself,
Oh,
rather
yeah.
than just like the stage. you
We
know?
have a lot of us have like friends that we're in like Mean Girls and Funny Girl, and they come in and they're like, oh my God, like it's unrecognizable.
Right.
It
Right.
looks
Which is
so
very, very cool
different.
when they do that.
And I hope the next show that comes in keeps it in the round, because like
Really?
they built a mezzanine.
Yeah.
It's and I think
I can almost guarantee you that won't happen.
Yeah.
I know. They're like, okay,
It's
well, let's just
absolutely not gonna
tear this all
happen.
down.
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. I mean, you remember Great Comet, Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet?
Yeah.
Themselves? They like that was a little
Nuts.
different because it was less like, I guess, even on both sides. Like it was more like to the stage, but
Sure.
even that was like the whole entire theater. You went
Yeah.
into like the bunker, like, and then came out into this like gorgeous red gold like theater space. you
They're gonna
know?
destroy it.
Yeah.
I just think I mean, we only have like one theater in New York City that's in the round.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, why not just make it two? Like they built a mezzanine, so
Yeah.
just like leave it. Like you can, and you could very easily like just like redecorate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to like look
Yeah.
the same way that it does now, but like keep the bones, keep like the structure, because I think it's such an interesting way to watch theater.
Yeah.
I love theater in the round. It's been like whenever I was or when I was in college, it was like the kind of thing that I found really, really interesting. I was
Where'd
like,
you go to college again?
Yeah, where'd you
Boston Conservatory.
Oh, work.
go? Okay.
Yes.
She's
Work
talented.
Boston.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's like
Talented.
That's
Oh my
like the thing
goodness.
about
Sure.
Broadway, I think, is like it's hard, you know, to kind of always hit, you know, those messages like all the way home because, you know, Broadway is expensive and like you're catering to a,
is.
you know,
Yes.
wealthier audience and like it has to be like digestible and and you know, a lot of times I think that I mean, I used to be so like Broadway, and like I think as I've gotten older and as I've like seen more of the world, I've been like, oh, I think maybe sometimes it's easier or more effective to like tell the actual story you want to tell and the message you want to share like somewhere else, you know,
Sure.
because you
Yeah.
can cater to different audiences. But anyway,
Well, we just saw Six and we loved it. We were dancing.
I do really want to see Cabaret. It's running.
Yeah.
It's running. Like
Yeah,
right?
we will be there for a while.
Work and
Yeah.
you'll be in it. You're not gonna leave.
I'll be there probably until April, I think is when my contract is up.
Work.
Okay.
But maybe longer. If they renew.
Oh, I don't know.
You don't
This is
know?
because my the track that I do 8 times a week, like the Victor's the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
character. It's just like I'm not in Don't Tell Mama. I'm not in Mine Hair. Like
Oh, got you.
I'm not in a lot of the show.
Right.
And I really wanna make that TV money, that film money.
So do you think you'd move to LA?
I don't know about moving to LA. If there was a job that would relocate me,
Work.
I would move there for the time that I was
Yeah.
working there. But
I mean, I was like so New York, and I still am a lot, but
Sure.
I never thought I would like LA, but it's okay.
yeah.
I've gotten used to it.
Of course. Every time that I go, I really like it. I don't have a driver's license.
Anyway. You don't have a driver's license?
well,
No.
yeah, you need that.
Yeah. And I've tried. I've never taken like the test. I've had my permit and then it expired and then I got it again and then it's expired now. So
Or you know what? Book a gig that's so good that they send a car.
Oh no! Oh yeah! No, that
day.
would 100%. That would be the dream. But yeah, I mean, I have very weird anxiety with moving. Like right before Drag Race, we moved down the hall, same apartment building, just like down the hall
Okay.
into like a smaller apartment because it was me and my fiance and 2 roommates, and then it was just me and my fiance. So we like downsized.
Okay.
And I like had like a full panic attack. I was like, oh my God, this is different. And then we just moved in April. And again, like I was fine. And then that night we like ate dinner and then I was like, oh, I can feel it. It's coming. It's coming.
Gotcha.
And I got very, very anxious and I had to like lay down on the floor with my dog and I fell asleep for 15 minutes and then I felt fine.
But you like your new place.
Yes, I love it. Oh my God, it's so great. But yeah, like moving across the country, I think I would have like some
Yeah, it's a
issues.
lot.
Yeah.
Don't-
Just like
yeah, it's a lot.
mentally,
Well,
I
welcome
think.
you with clonazepam, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
before we wrap things up here, I do want to hear your full Wicked. Like,
Oh, yes.
Or what are you excited for?
So excited.
It's. I mean,
You know, Larry was almost in that movie.
I was like so almost in it.
Who were you? Bach?
Bach, yeah.
I was like,
it was like.
assume.
I mean,
It was between you and...
it kind of was between like me and
That's
and
fierce.
Ethan, but they went with him because he's older. But
Sure.
totally get it.
He's
not bitter at
salty.
all.
No.
Not bitter at all.
No.
I'm so excited. Wicked is one of my favorite musicals because
Yeah.
back to my childhood, Wizard of Oz,
Yeah,
huge
of
for
course.
me.
Of course.
That was like if you ask my family, they're like, yeah, it was like a problem. Like obsessed. I was obsessed with it.
How many times have you seen Wicked like on Broadway?
Oh, I think, God, I saw it when I was with my family when I was little. I saw it when I did a college program. I saw it when Brittany, what's her name? The first the first consistent black Glinda.
Oh, yes.
I saw
Yes.
her first like permanent performance,
Work.
which was like so cool. I saw it, I think one day, like me and Kyle went for our anniversary. I've seen it like 4 or 5 times, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Wicked.
We just last time we
Well,
were in New York,
we
like,
went in
again.
February.
And that
but,
was my 4th time seeing it on Broadway.
And my second time, the first time, this is always my big flex. I saw it with Idina and Kristen.
Oh my
in
Yeah.
the original production.
Yeah.
work. Oh, and I saw it in Brazil
Whoa.
when I was touring in Brazil last year.
Was it like different? Was it?
It was in Portuguese. One.
Whoa.
And it was the first non-replica production that was done.
Okay.
Like with Steven Schwartz, like involved.
Okay,
He was
word.
the director,
completely
I think.
different like set design and everything?
Yes. But the whole thing is that, so they've only done it in Brazil twice. The first time it was a replica, and it was the same 2 actresses that did it. The second time they like brought it back with the same people.
Wow, okay.
Which was like so
That's cool.
Yeah.
And there's just something, I think, obviously I know the material very, very well, but like sitting there and like watching it, like not understanding an actual word of what was going on, but like I like got it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah,
of
this is
course.
this is
Yeah.
Wicked.
Right.
Wicked.
It transcends language, honey.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't wait to see like if there comes a day, and kind of with the movie as well. Like if there comes a day when Wicked closes, like and there's now different productions that get done with different designs
Yeah.
and like because the design and look of that and the direction of that show is so iconic, and like now they're changing with the movie. I mean, I have full faith. I think John
Oh
Chu
my
is
God.
like
It's
gonna be so
brilliant,
good.
and I think
Beautiful.
it's gonna be so brilliant. It's gonna be so.
We actually have a screener right here. No.
I would jump out this window. I'm not kidding.
But it's 2 part. Like I guess they're ending part 1 with, or is it?
Do you
still
think they're
2
adding
parts?
songs?
I think they're definitely adding songs.
Okay.
John Chu, I think, said in something that he's like, yeah, you just like you can't go past Defying Gravity. Like,
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
top
You
Defying
have to end
Gravity.
the
Right.
movie
So I
after
think
Defying
it's like gonna be like
Intermission.
boom,
Right.
and that's the first
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
With the release date right before the credits of the next one.
I hope so. No, I'm so excited. Well, number one, I love Ariana so much.
Right.
She is just like the sweetest, most generous.
Oh.
Yeah,
Kindest
you've had like a
person
lot
in the
of
world.
like experiences with her.
Diva, we text. I love her so much.
Yeah.
I love her so much. She's just like, she's so sweet. And I know how much she cares about this. And like,
Yeah.
she's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
She's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and the Glinda that I saw in Brazil, I was talking to her last night actually, because she messaged me and she was like, because she's doing the Portuguese like dub for the film.
Oh, okay.
God, that's cool.
So she messaged me and she was like, if you could like pass this along to Ari, like I'm finishing my dub tomorrow and I've like, now that I've seen the movie, like she's just so fantastic in it. Like she's perfect. And I'm so excited for like everyone to see it. She's just, she's
just gonna be
amazing.
so good.
And I passed it along and Ariana was like, that is the sweetest thing in the whole world. Tell her that I sent her all my love. Like that's so nice. Like she's so sweet. She's
Yeah.
so generous.
Yeah.
And I think Cynthia is gonna blow it out of the water. Like just also just like hearing how they've
One of the most
connected
powerful
through it. It's just
voices.
oh
Like,
god, I'm just gonna
I know.
die. I've pre-ordered
And
the
we're
Barbie.
gearing up. I mean, like in
We
the
are
next
ready.
couple of weeks, it is going to be wicked everyday press.
I
like,
know. I'm
billboards everywhere.
I'm
It's coming.
begging them to
Like the press tour is coming.
bring me to the premiere. I will turn a look. I need to be there. I need to see this as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I
get
just
Pam on this. We need to be
Yeah,
there.
yeah. We gotta go.
I need to go. I need to be there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry so hard in that movie theater.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Oh God, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, Marcia,
Well,
we both knew that was a
we knew we
perfect
can't-
moment, and you can't
literally
top that.
Top Defying Gravity.
It's
that's
true.
not Defying Gravity.
You have been such a pleasure to have on the podcast.
Thank you so much for being one of our esteemed guests. We love you so much.
Where can the people find you online and connect with Marcia Marcia Marcia?
You can find me at Marcia X3 NYC. That's MARCIA X3 NYC because I live here and now I can't move to Los Angeles.
Exactly.
Oh my
Or I
God, you would
guess
have to change the handle.
Yeah, it wouldn't rhyme.
Marcia
Yeah, it
Marcia
rhymes.
X3
Marcia X3.
Marcia La.
LA. No, it doesn't have the ring.
Not the same ring to it.
It doesn't have the ring.
Marcia 3X LAX.
Ah. T.
Rhyming X with X.
Wig.
You Sabrina Carpenter.
Wig.
My God.
But Marcia,
Sorry,
Marcia
just a really good.
X3
Obsessed with the album. Obsessed with the album. Sabrina Carpenter. You're so talented. So good.
Okay.
well, you can find
Yes.
us.
Yeah, where can I find you?
You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Let's Talk About That Pod. You can find us on YouTube at Let's Talk About That Pod.
Right. You can see our beautiful faces in New York City
yes.
today. Unbelievable.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Let's talk about that,
Yes.
honey. And you can also email us if you have a question or a comment at Let's Talk About That pod at gmail.com.
You hit all the bases.
Yeah.
We got it covered.
So
Yeah, wow.
we should sign off with the little right?
Sure.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time, and thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on
Let's talk about that.
And blackout.
And we're out.
Blackout.